What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So I've been connecting some dots lately and kind of just looking at the way things are moving and what's going to be going on within the next year or so. This time next year will be in 2024. And during the springtime, they will start ramping up all of the nonsense that is going to be for the presidential election that will be coming in the fall of 2024. Okay, so be prepared for the springtime to ramp up and that summertime for things just to go completely ballistic for the 2024 election. Okay, I've been kind of looking at a few different things. What kind of started me on this road was just looking at the trajectory of this new Freaknik documentary and just seeing how the mainstream media, especially a lot of these buck dancing black bootlicks on the liberal side, how they're reacting to the whole Freaknik documentary. And apparently it's going to come out in April of next year. So that's right around the time where things are going to start going for the presidential election. And in order for, how these Democrats work things anytime they go at black people, they're not going to give us anything we actually want. But what they're going to try to do is divide and conquer again and try to create these divisions amongst black men and black women. So that whole Freaknik documentary, you saw how much press that it got. It hasn't even been made yet, but it got so much press especially within black circles. They're going to really push that when it comes out. It's going to be basically a surviving Freaknik type documentary where they're going to make it look as if all these black men were taking advantage of and sexually assaulting black women. So black women should be upset with black men, and black men are bad, and black women need to come over with the Democrats because the Democrats and liberals are going to look out for you. You got to support black women like Kamala Harris or whatever, right? Because she was college age, maybe around that time. We got to support Kamala Harris because she's a sister like us. She's an AKA just like us. And that's going to be one of the narratives pushed in the coming election for next year. Also, you saw with these two plants, these two political plants, the two Justins in Tennessee. I know a lot of people have been sending me messages or asking me about them, but I mean, I can't talk about people who I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Even with some of the contacts that I've made here in Tennessee, none of those people know who these two are. Okay, none of the people that I've worked with or any of the people that I've, talked with who are actually involved in community politics within Tennessee, they've never heard of these two buffoons. Once again, these are plants. They plant these Negroes, and it's so obvious because they're both just absolutely ridiculous. One looks like a damn pimp. The other one is just a bad civil rights era stereotype of what a black power person is supposed to be. Okay, and he didn't even look like that before. He's remade himself to, I guess, pretend like he is Huey P. Newton or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like that, the fact that anyone wants to even hear my opinion on them, there's nothing much I can say. These two are ridiculous, and you can tell just by their antics within just Tennessee politics. It's ridiculous. They like to perform for the camera, doing mock sermons and bringing props and stuff like that to the chambers. I was glad when they got dismissed because they were acting like complete assholes. They're not doing anything of any importance. Okay, they're not talking about anything of any importance. It's all show, and it's to get people to argue back and forth. So now, because there are two people of color and they got kicked to the curb by these white supremacists here in the Tennessee government, black people feel obligated that they have to go out and defend these two coons. And there's no reason for us to waste time doing that, okay? Or even waste time debating as to whether the merits of why they got kicked out or not. They're not doing anything for black people. They're not doing anything of any worth or anything worthwhile for any one of us. We shouldn't care about them, okay? But they're going to use both them and other plants in the political spectrum to get black people to support the Democratic Party, okay? Also, I read that Joe Biden is probably going to run again for the presidential election to be the Democratic nominee for the president, and he's not going to even debate any other Democrats out there. He's not going to waste time with debating other people for the primaries. It's going to be just like the last time where the Democratic Party is saying everyone needs to coalesce around Joe Biden and give him their undivided loyalty and support. Okay? And, I don't know what Joe Biden is going to run on this year, coming up in the election, because he doesn't have the backdrop of Donald Trump being a terrible president. So that's the only reason Joe Biden even got in there and won anything, is because the pandemic caused under Trump, and Trump being such a terrible president at the time. That's the only reason Joe Biden won. Okay, that's the only reason he got any attention whatsoever. So we'll see how things go, but unless maybe Trump runs again, which I don't know if he'll be able to get in there or not, or they'll get DeSantis and try to paint him as Trump light or whatever. That's the only way I can see Joe Biden getting any support anywhere. But he doesn't have the pandemic to run off of now. Okay, he doesn't have, I'm going to fix the pandemic, which mysteriously went away once he got in there. Apparently, now there is no problem with this mysterious disease that was a plague upon humanity before Joe Biden got in there. Then it just all went away. Everyone is cured. There's no more sickness. Everything's back open. Everything's fine now. You notice how everything just went away after Joe Biden got in there, just mysteriously. So, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be. If it's going to be, if he's going to be able to solidify any type of real support. I mean, Joe Biden himself is as old as dirt and really not in any real state of mind to be running for president. There should be somebody else if they're serious about having someone competent in there. I know they're not. They don't care. It's all about having figureheads. But I'm just saying from a practical standpoint. But I don't know. Maybe they might even try to run Kamala Harris. I don't think she's a good candidate at all. She has not provided any type of strength, or she hasn't provided anything. She's barely been seen since she became the vice president. She kind of hides away and does basically nothing. I guess the biggest thing that she's done of note is like firing people in her staff and hiring other people to come in. And I already know by this time next year she's going to start to pretend to be black again. Before she's as soon as she got in there, she was Indian. She's a lady of color. She's the first Asian vice president. Before that, she was sister girl, aka I went to HBCUs. I listened to Tupac. I liked hot sauce and all this other bullshit. But as soon as she got in there, she became Asian. So I already know when it comes time for the election, she's going to become black again. She's going to be a sister girl again. Be prepared to see her out there twerking and dancing, trying to get your support. So, we'll see how things go in the next year to come. But those are my predictions as far as how things are going to work. They're going to do the whole divide and conquer again. You might even see some more of those stupid ads about getting your booty to the polls. I'm sure they'll dig up some old school rapper and get them to do some sort of twerk music to tell you to go vote for Joe Biden. They might even have Kamala Harris or Joe Biden twerking in those commercials. They'll get these young political plants like the Chew Justins to come out there and pretend that they're for us, even though they're not. Okay? So you folks can let me know what you think about it and how you think things are going to go in the year to come when it comes to the new presidential election. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.